Welcome back to Layers of Cakes. I'm Cakes, and tonight we're going to make a gluten-free calzone. The first thing that you're going to need is 3 cups of gluten-free flour, 3/4 cups xanthan gum, and a half teaspoon of salt, 1½ teaspoons of sugar, 1 1/8 cup of hot water at 95 degrees, 1½ tablespoons of active dry yeast, and 1/4 cup of olive oil. First thing, you want to get your yeast active, so you mix in your sugar with your hot water. This will feed the yeast. It's a very important step. Once the sugar is completely dissolved, add in the oil and the yeast and mix thoroughly. Once the yeast is thoroughly mixed in, set it aside for 5 minutes. Now that the yeast is activated, we can work with our dough. So mix in your xanthan gum and salt to your flour, or you could sift it in together, whichever you prefer. If you're using a 1-to-1 on your gluten-free flour, you do not need xanthan gum. Don't forget to keep up with your dishes. Make sure you have water ready. And now, let's make the dough. Mix in your activated yeast, and I use my hand for this. You can use a food processor or a bread stand, whatever you prefer. Gluten-free flour is not going to give you the same satisfying results of a regular flour. Be patient with it, work it, but don't overwork it. There is a fine line. And it will be very tacky and sticky. I know it looks a mess, but don't worry, it's going to actually turn out really good. Now that it's mixed, I'm going to cover it and set it aside for an hour. After 30 minutes, you can see that it's already rising and is getting very squishy, springy, great consistency. An hour later, the dough has doubled in size and it is done. It looks very good. For the inside, I'm using apple chicken sausage, turkey bacon, and pepperoni. I cut the sausage into bite-sized pieces and I'm going to fry that first. Once it's cooked fairly good, I'm going to add in the finely chopped turkey bacon and I'm going to cook that all together. I'm adding a pinch of oregano and a dash of thyme. While this was cooking, I did put my dough in the fridge to chill it, and it is easier to work with when it's a little chilled. And I floured both sides of the dough and laid it between the parchment paper. This dough is a little sticky, but once it's chilled a little bit and risen, it works better. And I put in my sausage and bacon mixture, layered that with some mozzarella cheese, and layered that with some pepperonis. I used the parchment paper to fold the dough in half. This actually worked out pretty good. I know it was a struggle, but it was actually easier this way. And then I pinched it down using the parchment paper and pinched and rolled the sides up. The more I made, the better I got at doing this. The first one was kind of hard. You can see it in the background. It's a little messy, but they did improve as I was making them. This definitely does take some practice. I ended up getting 5 calzones, varying in different sizes for my husband and my son and a few other meals. And then I oiled them with the extra olive oil. This will help the crust turn golden on the top and not burn. After that, I cut 3 slits in the top of this. This allows a calzone to breathe while it is baking in the oven. It also makes it look really, really nice. I bake these at 425 for 30 minutes. This is at about 15 minutes. They look almost done. After only 22 minutes, they were finished, and they're beautiful. They're golden, and the bottom is perfect. It came out wonderful. The whole thing is golden from top to bottom. But let's see how they look when we cut it open. That looks perfect to me. You can see the layers. Everything is baked nice and even. The dough is thoroughly baked. Thank you for joining me as I baked calzones tonight. I hope you enjoyed the recipe, and I will leave the ingredients in the description below. Until next time, bye!